Welcome back to the TikTok For You podcast, powered by Truth, helping hundreds of thousands of people stop vaping with This Is Quitting. Today's guests are members of the TikTok elite, graced with jawlines and floppy brown hair. They use these tools to pull in their audience, much like me with my forehead. Please welcome your local heartthrobs, Josh Richards and Griffin Johnson.
Yeah, I can't clap. I'm holding my phone, but I'm clapping.
He's going full Facebook mom too, holding it like over his head.
Dude, I was talking about that. It's like, I don't know. I think it's also like the camera's reversed, so it's even worse. But
that inverted will make you. It'll humble you.
Inverted do be humbling people. Griff, you kind of look like my grandma, dude. You look like how my nanny like holds the FaceTime, where it's like super down and you see up their nostrils. You know what I mean?
That's just
Y'all's grandparents ever answer FaceTime and still hold it up to their ear? And it's like, Mimi, that's your ear hole. It's okay. Well, welcome, guys. Honorary nominees for White Boy Summer. Sure, we're stoked for that. How are we feeling?
Well, you can tell I'm feeling great. I'm in a look what I'm wearing. You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
Hot boy summer. I'm ready.
So ready.
Josh, the duets I've seen of you and Bryce doing that video of saying you're single for the summer.
Thank you for the summer, baby.
So many videos. So bad.
All right, you guys have been making videos since 2019, right? Or was it before that?
I mean, for me, it was before that. I started in the summer of 2016.
Oh, wow. The prime of Snapchat and all of that. Different era.
Death of Musical.ly. It was a weird time. But that is when I.
Okay, so and then Griffin, for you, was it like
2019.
Started TikTok? Yeah. So a few years later, fast forward, you've amassed these huge followings. At the time, y'all moved to Los Angeles, become public figures, own businesses. Did you ever see it going like this when you were just dicking around filming little videos?
No.
Yeah, no. I think that we were able to really leverage like the audience we have and turn it into something more outside of just like TikTok and YouTube and really like go onto the entrepreneurial side. But I don't think we ever expected as many people to like support us and follow our day-to-days and just like be involved in our content as there were. Like we really do have to count our blessings every day, because without everyone that followed us, we wouldn't really be anywhere. So
sure. Do you ever do like a rewind and you think like, what type of videos was I making back then? Would I make them today? I mean, were they just all thirst traps? You just set it up and go?
I don't want to talk about it.
My favorite video of Griff has to be when he was like crawling across the floor or something like that. Like, what was that one, Griff?
Care to explain?
Yeah,
I was at Social Bash. This was like what, 2 years ago, probably.
Yeah,
year and a half, 2 years, and I was at Social Bash, and there was like this window thing, but you could like sit up and the sunlight would come through. I don't know what I was thinking, honestly, but I set the phone up and like thirstily trappedly crawled towards like it was like dream.
No, why would you do that?
I don't know. I guess I thought it was cute. I really was feeling myself, and I'm like, damn, this light is hitting me. And I just started crawling towards the camera, bro. And I posted it, and I don't know who let me do it.
Do you ever think, like, were your parents seeing what you were doing at this time? Was it just, like, the most humiliating?
Dude, I used to wonder, I'm like, why don't guys support what we do? Like, why do they hate us so much? And then I look back, and I'm like, oh, my God.
You're like, oh, shit,
I get it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. That's really I feel like not the norm when it comes to like TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok influencers especially. It's like, where does this ego come from? Where it's just like you got popular for I don't even know, and then it's like you think you're God's gift to this green earth. It's like I don't understand how that happens.
Dude,
so
it's so true all the time. It's like, especially I used to feed into this like for a bit. Especially when we first started Sway, I had like one of the biggest egos, and I look back on it and it's like we had no right to be talking. Like it was just people that liked the way we looked, but we were not doing anything at all. Like
Sure.
there was no depth about us. Like we were like making fun of the YouTubers and saying like they sucked and like going at them and stuff. But we had no talent or like we weren't doing anything.
That's crazy that you can like now go back and realize that. I mean, that's just hilarious actually. Was it the group as a whole or was it individuals like you could point out the egos?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like you're always gonna get like people in the group that are gonna have like the biggest ego or whatever. But it was a little bit of like with Sway at the start when we first started doing social media. I mean, I was 17, right? So I came off. I'm still in high school. Like I didn't really get to live like a normal high school life. Like I didn't get to like go around and party all the time or do that stuff. So it was like now I was getting that attention and like able to go party and do all. So it was like everyone's kind of like feeling themselves a little bit, and then you take that and you get a group of 6 guys that are all went through the same thing. Now they're all feeling themselves at the same time, all have this success. Like it wasn't just like we would like give each other egos. Like we'd be hyping each other up too much.
Sure.
Like it was like, it just got to a point where we thought we were like kind of just, I would say like untouchable, or like we were like these people that couldn't be messed with, but it just like really quickly we realized, we're kind of just like living off like a dream, or like we're not really putting in like the work we set out to do. Like when I first came to LA, it was because I co-founded a management company and I was like opening up that, and I was being an entrepreneur. And then it very quickly turned into like partying in a bender for 6 to 8 months. And then it was like, all right, let's take a step back, reevaluate. I'm 18 now. I got to get my shit together. So that's when we really started going hard on like the investment side, raising $50 million for a venture fund, production company, co-founding companies, all that.
Nice. Well, do y'all, I mean, to this day, like kind of still taking it back to the roots, do y'all keep in touch with your friends from home? How do they feel about, what you do as a career now? Or are you more in like, because it's easier to relate to that influencer circle?
I feel like we have a similar story there, Josh. I mean, we've kind of talked about it like in that period. So I was actually I was in my second semester of my junior year when I moved out to LA. But that first so I came off of tour in summer of 2019, came back for the fall of my junior year, which was 2019. And it was like pretty rough, and I lost a lot of friends because they gave me so much crap for what I was doing.
Sure.
That at that point I had like kind of like the chip on my shoulder where I was like a little bit insecure about what I was doing, but I was successful at doing it. So I was kind of like, screw you guys. I am more successful than you, and you're making fun of me. And now that I look back on it, it was probably pretty silly because it was a lot of just like the boys that didn't understand and they were giving me crap. So I pretty much whittled down my friend group at that time to like, like 3 or 4 people, and that's pretty much all I keep track of. And those are like the day one homies that through it all.
Yeah, I mean, I have one of my friends from my hometown out here right now. He just flew out like 2 weeks ago. Start doing a lot of like work with me down here in LA. So I've always been someone that like likes to keep it like tight circle, inner circle. Yeah, just like run my shit like a family,
Got it. Well, how do y'all, getting into kind of content creation, because I know that both of you have kind of expanded into things other than social media, which congrats, that is not easy to do, and so young too. But when it comes down to actually like, what got you your platform, what got you famous, was there a thought process behind, let me set this phone up and show off my shiny chest? Or is it like, did you think it was going to be something more? What was the thought process back then?
Yeah. So for me, I mean, I didn't start off doing like thirst traps or like being like a good looking TikToker or whatever you want to call it. So, or like a boy. But what I was doing was a lot of these like, have you ever seen like Brent Rivera? Do you know who that is?
Okay. Like Vine era Brent?
Yeah, I was doing, but like Brent, like his content he does now. So like the like Instagram skits and all that. That's like the content I was doing on Musical.ly or TikTok at the start. Like I was always getting like my sister, my younger brother involved, doing like family skits and like tutorial
comedy.
videos. So it was like, it was more not funny. It wasn't funny. It might have been in the comedy category.
It was something.
I'd call it cringy. Like that's what I would label it. But
Hey.
we got views, and I was doing that from like 14 to like 16, and then I kind of transitioned into more of like edgy bad boy TikToker, and like then I got invited on the tour with all the boys, and we went on Lights Out tour, and that's really when it like changed to more of like thirst trapping, fuck boy like TikToks, and then it went into Sway after that.
So how do we get to that point where you're living with 4 or 5 other dudes in one house?
Yeah,
I mean, it's essentially a frat house at that point, right?
I mean,
no, felt like it.
It smelled like it.
I mean, it was like the boys. We all were pretty good friends. We just came, like I said, we just came off the tour. Griffin, myself, Anthony, Jaden. Who else would have been on that tour?
Oh wait, no.
Wow, yeah. Kia was on the tour. So then it was us 4, and we went like we were in LA after the tour. I knew of Bryce a little bit, so like I hit him up, I DM'd, and I was like, "Yo, could the boys roll up and like hang out, make some content?" He was like, "Yeah, sure." Went over, started hanging out with him. We ended up like going out that night all together, and it was just like a good time. So we continued just hanging out. I think we crashed at his house actually that night as well. And we just pretty much ended up like bumming on couches together. Like this group of 6 guys would just like go around and like bum on different people's like couches or whatever they had, so we could like be making content and stay in LA because we didn't like have any money at the start. So then after that, we were like, let's make this more kind of like solidified. Let's like make our group. And that's when we had already had Talent X and co-founded that. So we were like, oh, let's just put it under the management company, call it Sway, and like start building that part out. So then, yeah, that's really how like the Sway House came to be.
So were there any sponsorships behind that, or what was who was funding y'all at that point, if you can talk about it?
Yeah, no. It was Talent X. So it was the management company that I co-founded along with Michael.
And that was just from years of saving, I guess, to invest in something like that?
Well, that's like we went out and raised money. So we had like a raise and had money from that. And then there were a couple other like one like co-founder definitely put in like a good amount as an investment. So he was kind of like funding it a little bit. But yeah, that's where it came from.
Sorry, I had to clear my throat. If y'all don't mind, this is such an interesting conversation. I feel like especially a lot of magazines and publications get it wrong of like they're so intrigued by the influencer space and the money that circulates through social media. I mean, like I personally, I don't know about you guys, but like my family still doesn't really understand how I make my money. Was that hard explaining that to your parents of like, this is what I want to go do, let me move out? Was it impossible? I mean, Griffin, you were in nursing school, right? Or were you undergrad for nursing?
Yeah, I was in my undergrad to get my bachelor's in nursing. So mine was like, they were losing mine. Like I literally had a full ride to Indiana State University, like was doing my thing in nursing school. And then one day I like, cause my family, they don't even use like, my mom and dad don't even have iPhones. So
wow.
They had no clue. So I was just like, hey, I'm getting popular on social media. I have an opportunity to go on a tour and make some money. And then I was like, they were like kind of weird about it because I didn't work that summer. And then I came back after the next semester and said, hey, I'm moving to LA. And
no way.
They lost their mind. They're like, what?
Understandable. Yeah, no, I had a similar conversation with my parents where it's a spur of the moment thing, you know, like, let's go to LA. And it's like, do you really need to go there to do what you do? All right, people, you've made it this far, so listen up. Let's get right to it. If you're vaping, it's time to stop. Maybe you've realized that quitting will improve your health or save you money, or maybe you're just over it. You're trying to break the addiction. Whatever your reason, you don't have to do it alone. This is Quitting from Truth, a text-to-quit service that offers real support from real people who have quit. It's here for you. Hundreds of thousands of people have already signed up, so what are you waiting for? Just text DITCH VAPE to 88709 to learn more. Do y'all feel like that was integral for getting you to where you are right now, being out in LA?
100%.
Yeah. I mean, it allowed us all to living together was huge. Like the amount of content we were able to produce when we were just all in the same house was insane. So that definitely has like a big role to play.
Sure. Well, in that vein, I have some questions if y'all want to play a quick game. Relating back to Sway, I want to get the tea on these roommates, bitch. I want to hear who was the nastiest, who bought the groceries, who restocked the toilet paper. I have a whole list of questions if y'all want to rapid fire throw out some names.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Who is the most likely not to do the dishes? Just let them sit.
Everyone.
I was gonna say everyone. What do you mean?
I've done them like twice, and I think that's the most in the house.
How long were y'all there?
At least like 8 months.
Like, come on.
Yeah. No.
Who was the absolute dirtiest, filthy, disgusting roommate?
Jaden, probably. I'd say. Right? Jaden was pretty messy, dog.
He's
was messy. I mean, Bryce was pretty clean in his room, honestly. Like who everyone would expect, but low key was like kind of clean.
Yeah.
Maybe it could have been me, honestly. Maybe that's why I can't think of anyone. If you can't think of anyone,
you're like, I don't know.
Well, you and Jaden shared a room, and your room was always messy. So,
but we always had 500 people in our room.
Everyone always hung out in your room, though, so it's kind of
the spot.
It was the spot.
Mm-hmm. All right, who was the loudest?
Anthony. Anthony's the loudest.
He always be screaming at video games.
Always screaming. Always.
Got it. Who was the most fun to be around? This could start some friend wars.
Most fun.
I mean, I feel like Bryce is always the one that is got everything going.
Yeah. He's definitely got like the crazy vibe. So it's like whenever you're like trying to go out before, it's like it's great to have like Bryce come out with you. Like if you're going to clubs or like going to party or whatever.
Going to park that saddle at Saddle Ranch.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Love that.
Who was the best gamer in the house? Did any of y'all ever stream?
I never really did a lot.
Just Anthony and Keo.
Yeah. I think Anthony's probably the best gamer, right?
Yeah, him and Keo are both. I mean, they play different things.
Yeah.
Who would you say? Okay. Who would you say was the most vain? Which is a trick question. If you're saying at that time, all of y'all were kind of like,
yeah.
Yeah. Griff, what do you think?
Dude, I don't even know. Probably dude, it was all of us. I don't even that's such a hard one to answer.
Yeah.
The whole group was pretty much on the same level when it came to being vain.
That's crazy. I think what's more crazy is to see how y'all are now. Like what an ego death, what a growth, like personal growth, feeling proud in this moment of you two.
I had to take some by there for a bit. So
yeah, true. I had to go home and get slapped around by my parents a little bit. Just
right.
It was like to get my ass beat. And then I was like, oh, okay. All right. Now I know what's up.
Yeah. A little humbling.
Yeah.
Love that. All right. Well, that concludes that game. I just wanted the tea. So thank you for giving us the tea.
I got it.
So you guys both have pretty massive followings. And I like to ask, the social media stars who come on the pod, how they feel about having that responsibility. I mean, do you guys have any thoughts of how you might have not used your platform the best in the past or how you want to use it going forward? I mean, any stories you'd like to share?
I mean, yeah, there's definitely I literally have a tattooed on my arm, with power comes responsibility. So that's always
so true, bestie.
Yeah, it's always been something I've really listened to, at least that quote from, shout out Spider-Man, and my dad always reaming that into me. But no, I would say there's definitely been times when I wasn't impressed with what I was doing on my social media back when we were on that bender for 8 to 6 months. I mean, you start to the line gets blurred of what's all right to post kind of and what isn't, and what's crossing that line. So there were just a couple times we did cross that line. If that was dumb live streams with Griffin, or if that was in Texas, or if that was the COVID party, there was always something we were doing that was not really using our power or like realizing the responsibility we have with the influence we had. So I think we've been able to turn it around, though. I think me and Griff have done an all right job of like being more mature. I'm not going to say we're like perfect people at all, ever, or like people that you should like live your life by and be like, everything they do, I should do. But I think that we've been able to like really use our voice to teach more, like if that's in financial literacy or just showing kids that there's other paths to take than the go to college, get a 9-to-5, have a family. Like there's other routes. And yeah, I think that's really what the best part about our following is we've been able to teach.
Sure. Yeah, it's a weird niche that you kind of find yourself in as someone with a following. Is like, obviously some people, whether you want it or not, are going to turn to you as like a role model, which you never signed up for. Or, you know, the other side is you're just, at the end of the day, it's like, what are we? We're entertainers. So why are you looking to us for life guidance? It's like, I never signed up to give this to you. But at the same time, you kind of have to play into that because of the followings are so big. So yeah, it's a weird balance.
Yeah. I knew that we went too far when I saw like 12-year-old kids like shotgunning a Sprite and tag. Like, yeah,
we're preparing too young.
Yeah, we got to get responsible here.
Like preparing them for what?
For high school, like when you got a shotty. What do you mean? Come on.
The TikTok editors are just like delete. Like, cut that out.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys, at the end of the day, through all the drama and the people trying to peer into your personal lives and, you know, just having your personality be at the forefront of your career, do you enjoy what you do, or does it get really overwhelming all the time?
It's a mix. It's always a mix. Like, there's times it's overwhelming and there's times that you love what you do. The parts, the honest truth is there's parts that I love, like being able to entertain, being able to express myself, like, and like us being able to go out and do basically whatever we want to do and monetize it is like amazing.
Yeah.
But on the other side is you have to live every day, and it's like you have so many fears, like going out, like you have paparazzi, and then if there's any drama, then you have to talk about it. It's like millions of people see every mistake or every little thing you do. Like, people are looking back at comments or things you liked 4 or 5 years ago. Which
you're held to a different standard, right?
Yeah.
As like a social media influencer or anyone in the public eye, you're held to this standard where you really have to use that, like we talked about, responsibility or leverage your audience in a positive way. And not everyone that went into social media at the start really viewed it as, oh, I'm going to teach with my platform. They were like, I just want to make some people laugh. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I want to be able to put out this type of content that I enjoy watching. So I want to make it for others. Like, some people don't go into it at all thinking about like, oh, I'm going to be this I'm going to influence people. I'm going to have this like really this ability to change the future of like how kids think or like what they do or how they act. Like, no one's signing up for that when you're like 17 posting a video of you and just crawling across the floor. Like, you think Griff was thinking that when he was doing that video? Hell no.
I do. For the record, Griffin, I think you were thinking that.
Hey, thank you.
I hope he wasn't. Griff, if you were thinking that you were going to be an influencer to the world and you're crawling across the ground and sexualizing it and like seducing me through the phone, like I was full on like half like, all right, maybe I'm into this.
And then he's like, register to vote. Don't forget to register to vote.
Yeah, he's like, go get vaccinated. Like, all right, I guess I'm in. I'm going to go get vaccinated after that video. Holy.
Exactly.
Yeah, no.
It's the sheer power that you both hold is a little scary at the end of the day.
You know, I just wanted to make money. I was a broke college kid, and I saw someone going live and making money, and I'm like, sign me up. I will dice roll my way all the way there. And that's what I did. And here I am.
Yeah, really.
Yep.
It's a little, I have to remind myself at times, it is so absurd what we do online. I don't want to speak for all of us, but like as someone with a platform, what I have to do for my job is absurd.
Yeah.
It's like filming myself in the most stupid ways, but that's what they want because the internet is fun. It's supposed to be fun. So I enjoy the position that kind of, I'm in, at least, of like I get to be creative for my job, and that's wow. Do you ever have days where it's like you forget why you're doing it or it's not fun anymore? Think about quitting.
I think the thing is we've stepped so far away from like just the social media world. Like, I don't remember the last day I had like a content day. Like, I couldn't tell you the last time I had a day where like all I did was film content or like planned out content to fit. Like, it's literally just always on the go. We always have these like either business calls or calls with a venture fund or a venture capitalist or a new company to invest in. So we're meeting with founders, or if it's a meeting with an executive producer to talk about the production company or talk about me and Griffin's acting, or if that's meeting with casting director, doing auditions, if that's like, there's so much going on every day. Like, me and Griff's schedule will be jam-packed every 30-minute block from like 9:30 a.m. until 8 at night, and then we'd hit like a late dinner. So there was always something like going on. So we were just kind of like filming that process now. Like, that's kind of how it is for us. We have our videographer and editor, and he just like follows us around and films what we do. But it's just like, it's changed so much from just social media.
Yeah. It's cool to see how different people take that momentum they get on social media and apply it to other things. So
yeah, no, for sure.
Kudos to you guys. That sounds kind of miserable at times, but at least it's fun.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Yeah. Do you think that, segueing off of that there's a tidal change happening of like social media people who have like come from social media? They're now being taken seriously in traditional spaces. Try to be as unbiased as possible. Do you think that change is happening?
Sort of, but not really.
Yeah. It's like a little bit of both. So it's like some people have been able to do it. And I think the route me and Griffin are taking has allowed us to really step in and have a lot of people take us seriously in the more like traditional mainstream world. But it's such a challenge. Like, there's already a stigma kind of around social media influencers and TikTokers. Sure. And like, going back to it, like the standard that we were talking about, it's like, for some reason, social media influencers are held to an even higher standard than like an actor is, or than they're allowed to get away with more shit than we are for some reason. We're just fucking kids posting videos of ourselves on an app. That makes no sense, but
it's accessibility, because you can DM you guys and comment on your videos and you will see it,
Yeah.
Well, if you guys didn't start making videos way back then, what do you think you'd be doing now? Josh, what were you doing before you were making videos? I mean, you were in high school.
Yeah. So I was, I was always like an athlete growing up. So, but I was also like a young hustler. Like, I was always trying to make money and like figure out different ways to I guess like run businesses or small companies.
Selling those chocolate bars. Do you remember those? The like boxes of chocolate bars?
Yes. So I used to have like a hockey shirt company, and then I had a lacrosse company as well, where I would dye the mesh and wax coat it as well. So I was always doing something in that type of like entrepreneurial scene. So I definitely would have just became like an entrepreneur. I would have been running a company or something along those lines. So a little bit of what I'm doing right now, it's just I also have the social media.
Griffin, what about you?
No, yeah, I just graduated college, so that's dope.
Congrats!
Thank you. But I switched to business, so I probably would have finished nursing school. Right now, I'd probably be working a nice little 9 to 5 at a hospital, wiping ass. Or I mean, I'd be at a 9 to 5 right now as a nurse.
Cut that out. Washing old people.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Well, it's been amazing to see the career moves that y'all have been able to make. So again, kudos to you guys. I know it's been rocky at times, but this was an absolute delight. Thank you guys for coming on the pod.
Hey, thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I've seen some of the comedy videos. You definitely had to tone it down for this because we're not as funny as you, and I don't know if we'd understand all of your.
No, yeah. This. You flatter me, Griffin Johnson. This is so fun. Well, tell us where to find you. Anything you want to plug? How do we keep up with you?
Josh Richards everywhere. It's just the same thing, Josh Richards. And then just stay tuned for the production company I have opened with Mark Wahlberg. We're about to be producing some real cool stuff. A lot of stuff in the unscripted and docuseries world. So stay tuned.
Nice. Yeah, you can just find me. My name, Griffin Johnson.
Just find him. He doesn't even need to give you his name. Just find
look for him.
Do it.
Just find me. Just find me if you want to. If not, then
If you don't know who he is, you're a loser. I didn't want to cuss. I didn't want to cuss because I didn't know if this was a cussing podcast. But yeah, find him.
Hey, you know where to find me. It's all right.
Hey,
The listeners are like, no, I don't.
they're like, what?
I don't know who you are, man. Like, what are you talking about? That's awesome.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much.
Hey, thank you.